Good morning. So today I just wanted to talk about my favorite and least favorite places that I have traveled within Europe. Most of these places I have been on my own. Athena has joined me for a few of my travels in Europe. So I was just going to kind of go over my favorites and least favorite of all of those places. Back in 2015, I did a 2-month backpacking trip of Europe. I kind of hit all like the main spots that, you kind of think of when you think of Europe. And then last summer I did a 3-week road trip with Athena, and we did kind of more of Eastern Europe and a little bit of Austria, I guess. So yeah, it's been quite a few different places that I've been, and I'm just going to kind of go over which ones I loved and which ones I hated. So by far my favorite country that I have ever been to is Greece, and I actually went to 3 different places in Greece, and I loved each and every one of them so much for such different reasons. Mykonos was the most fun place I've ever been. It was quite a party. I met like a really great group of people there. We basically didn't do anything other than like drink and tan and that kind of stuff and just like party for a few days straight, and it was really fun. One of the most beautiful places I have ever been in the entire world was definitely Santorini, Greece. Again, I met a really awesome couple while I was there. I think one of my favorite days of the entire trip was actually in Santorini. I woke up and my only goal of that day was to go to a beach. I wanted to go to a beach, and somehow throughout the day we ended up riding donkeys up a mountain and just doing all this like crazy fun stuff. We went on a sailboat, and by the end of the day we did end up finally on a beach, and the beach we were on was like a red sand beach. There was glowing algae, and it was a very fun day. Santorini was also the only place that I actually rented a vehicle, so I had an ATV while I was in Santorini. So it was really fun to kind of have the freedom to explore the whole island and go anywhere you wanted at any time. You didn't have to worry about transit or anything, or you didn't have to worry about being within walking distance. So that definitely made Santorini more fun. Athens, Greece was also very fun. I met a girl there. We decided that we'd hang out while we were there, and somehow throughout the entire time we kind of just started collecting random strangers, and it started as the 2 of us, and by the end there was like over 10 of us, and we were all just like random strangers who didn't know each other, and it was really fun. And we didn't really do much other than just like wander around. Like, I definitely want to go back to Athens, Greece, because I feel like I didn't really do anything and I didn't really see any of like the cool ruins, which is what I went there for. But I had so much fun, and I met really cool people while I was there and ate such delicious food. Oh, the food was so good in Athens. Another place that I really loved was Luxembourg, which is kind of not that well known. I actually just came across a picture of it and I thought, oh my god, that looks like a fairy tale. So I ended up going there, and it was a fairy tale. It actually rained while I was there, not like hard, but it did rain the entire time I was there, which was only for an afternoon. But it was such a beautiful place. Every single person I met there was so friendly. If I had like a map in my hand or I was looking at my phone trying to find something, honestly, people would just walk up to me and be like, what are you looking for? And I will either tell you how to get there or will walk with you there. Obviously, Venice, Italy is beautiful and amazing, and I had a very enjoyable time there. My favorite pictures from Venice, Italy are definitely just pictures of down some creepy little alley. You just find like the weirdest little canal, and it is absolutely stunning. Also, this little island just off of Venice called Burano, and it is just full of these amazing colorful houses. And the other place I went in Italy that was one of my favorites was Cinque Terre, a national park which is 5 little fishing villages. There's a lot of hiking and vineyards and whatnot around there. Cinque Terre was very, very pretty, and it was one of those places where you just wander around and find beautiful places everywhere you go. Definitely my favorite place I went with Athena was Hallstatt, Austria, which is a little mountain village kind of near Salzburg, I think is the closest big city nearby. And it is the most stunning place that I have ever been in my life. And the people there were so friendly, like just like the loveliest people that I've ever met. I actually wasn't really planning on staying there that long, but my rental car that I had rented from Prague broke down, so we got stranded in Hallstatt for I think 4 days. I mean, if you're gonna be stuck anywhere in the world, being stuck in a beautiful place with like super friendly people, like you could be stuck worse places, I guess is what I'm saying. The campground that I stayed at, the owner was so friendly and was so nice to Athena. He was so sweet. He brought her cookies like multiple times a day. He gave her wet dog food because she was refusing to eat her own food. And I wasn't actually planning on staying at this campground, and I'm pretty sure it was like all booked up, and he kind of like helped me out because my car had broke down. So he actually sold me a tent for super cheap. He made me dinner, he gave me wine. He was such a sweet guy, and he was so sweet to little Athene, and it was such a nice experience, and I would definitely recommend Hallstatt camping. So one city that I definitely did not love is London, England. So as you may have heard before, the weather in England sucks, and the entire time I was there, which was only a few days, but the whole time I was there, the weather was horrible. It was like a giant hurricane. Basically, I came out from the train station, and within about 2 seconds, my umbrella completely broke from the amount of wind, and it was pouring rain, so I was completely drenched. The hostel that I stayed in London was also probably one of the worst and one of the most expensive hostels that I've ever stayed in. The bunk beds were 3 bunks high. I got completely lost, there was no street signs, and the food in London I found was not very good either. So another place that I didn't really love that might be kind of controversial was actually Paris, France. I didn't necessarily hate it by any means, but it was definitely one of like the least favorite places I've ever been. Granted, I really did only go to Paris because I wanted to go to the catacombs of Paris. So it wasn't something that I had been, dreaming of my whole life or anything like that. It was just it was convenient. Paris is obviously really expensive, and it wasn't something that I was like super excited for, so I just decided to kind of like stop in quickly and get a feel for Paris. But the feel that I got wasn't great, and I don't know if I would ever go back. I guess I just found Paris kind of overrated. It wasn't anything particularly special to me. The catacombs were interesting and I enjoyed them, but every single thing in Paris is such a big line and so expensive that it kind of just didn't really feel worth it. I got really sick in Istanbul, which I will tell that story at a later date because it is a good story. But I was so sick, and honestly, whenever I think of Istanbul, all I can think of is how sick I was. I mean, I did have a lot of fun. I actually met a really good friend of mine when I was in Istanbul. We went to the Istanbul Aquarium, and somehow that ended up with us scuba diving with sharks. And I am not scuba certified, so it was pretty crazy. And it was a lot of fun, but also really scary to have no idea what you were doing and have people who don't speak the same language as you trying to teach you how to scuba dive. Luckily, my friend was there to kind of like calm me down because I just about quit. It was not the most fun experience at the beginning, but once I got the hang of it, I did enjoy it, and it was a lot of fun. And then later that night, we went out for dinner, and the next morning we woke up and both of us were very sick for the next few weeks. That was actually my last stop in Europe, and I was very sick on my flight home, and for the next few weeks after I got home I was really sick. I didn't really get to see a lot of Turkey because I spent 2 full days in bed. One place that I found extremely overrated was Amsterdam. It was so expensive and I didn't find that it was that special. And the customer service there was so bad. Like, the people were so rude to us. So another place that I didn't really love would have been Berlin, Germany. I didn't love it, first of all, because I kind of didn't really see anything about it that I like looked at and thought, this is beautiful. All through May, I was hitting like Liberation Days in all these different countries. And then when I got to Berlin, they actually had this really weird, really sad parade that was kind of just like a big, we're sorry. And it was like a really big bummer of a day to be there anyways. And then when I tried to leave that day so that I could get out of Germany for my birthday, I got stuck in a train station for like 8 hours because of a train strike. And then by the time that they finally figured out how to get me out of Berlin, they got me as far as Dresden. Luckily though, they actually did comp me a free 5-star hotel in Dresden, Germany. So that was pretty amazing and I really lucked out in that. But it was just kind of a lot of things in a row that kind of just made it not very fun. And thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. Give me a big thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, definitely subscribe because there'll be another one coming next Thursday.